Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fly Free Bird podcast. I'm with Miss Anesha Rose.
Oh my God, I'm on her podcast.
Yeah. So, Anesha is pretty much famous within 25 miles, right?
Oh God, I was telling her 5 mile radius. The joke
I thought you said 25.
Well, what it is the joke was 5 mile radius to be humble. And
right.
I think it's turned into 10. The joke is you can't really go anywhere with me without one person knowing me in the room. And that's really dumb.
No, but that's fun.
Because it's not like I'm famous, but when you're a musician that plays all over Orange County and has done so for 27 years, from at the furthest Long Beach to San Diego, maybe more or less in the last 15 in the hub of San Clemente to Newport. I mean, what's cool is that I'm consistent. I'm working 4 nights a week. I don't know how deep we're going in the very first seconds of the podcast, but
we were just doing an introduction, but pretty much
25 is stretching. That's what I do on Hinge when I'm like looking for a boyfriend. I'm like, do we want to go 25 miles? How quick do we want to make this date?
Right. So I would probably do less. So
that seems a little exceeding. I would humbly say 10, but it's not a bad problem to have. I mean, every musician wants to be, every artist wants to be, I mean, some of us do things in our room quietly like an artist. Yeah. Like a painter.
Right.
And musicians, some of them are just in the studio all the time. And for me, I feel like my new title is entertainer because, you know, I always say at the very end of my gig, I'm only as good as my audience.
That's
Meaning
true.
if there was just the waiter and the bartender.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I'd be so insecure, or not insecure. I mean, I probably would feel like there's no one showing up.
Right.
This really didn't work out. Not that I might not get the job. I mean, I definitely don't want the job.
Right.
If this is what it's going to be. You know what I mean? But it's nice when people show up for you, and I think every one of us that does this knows the only way we're successful, even the millionaire successful or the record deal, they all say thank you to my fans. I mean, it's people. It's people that love what you're doing and support you. And so I only say I'm only as good as, I mean, this show, this night, this random moment that we just had, right? Because, I mean, every gig is different. No song has ever done the same. That's fact.
That's true.
I'm not a technical player. I'm a feeler.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, you know, I'm only as good as the people that show up for me, and the special type of person that shows up for me. We're going to have a really good time, or we're just going to play it safe and still get the job done and still be able to not get fired, really.
Right.
I mean, loyalty-wise, I'm surprised I haven't been fired, because I'm a little, you know, I'm a lot. Yeah. There's a lot.
And this is just the beginning, you know?
Yeah. And as I've said for 27 years, this is just the beginning. I can't even, that's what's so fascinating as I turned 50 this summer. I don't know if we're supposed to write some memoir. I think that's so freaking stupid. Can I cuss on this thing or no?
I mean, if you want it to be explicit, we can.
Because I love the cuss word, but I won't. No, I just think that like a memoir is too dumb. But what I'm saying is I'm reflecting, right? As we turn a certain milestone, we reflect. 50 is a pretty big one.
It's a big year.
A lot of friends haven't gotten here, so God bless those. And I feel like most of the ones that were important to me that didn't make it to this point are rooting for me. Yeah. And they're internally there somehow. But yeah, I just feel like we have to kind of be grateful and thankful. And I often think about the path and I go, I'm still doing restaurants and like bars that I want to do.
But you want to do it.
Of course.
Okay, so let's back up for a second.
Okay, yeah. That was the 5 mile radius.
So this is a lot.
See, I told you an hour and a half will go quickly.
Okay, yeah, no, so this is Anesha Rose. She is an amazingly talented musician. No, you are a somebody.
I'm a somebody with a nobody history that nobody knows except for the few.
For the people that know, though.
That's
and the
right.
people that know, it's like a secret that we don't want to share, but we want to share, but we want to like keep you to ourselves a little bit.
Selfishly, I'm with it. I mean, selfishly, I don't know what the other side holds, but I just go with God on that. The path is just as wide as it can be.
Well,
if the light is there.
The light, I mean,
If the light is there, Can we rewind?
Cheers.
We are drinking limoncello from Italy tonight.
Yes.
In our rose cups for Anesha Rose.
Oh, Anesha Rose.
Even though this looks like a goddamn piece of art, and I said goddamn like it wasn't a cuss word.
Well, there we it ain't.
Cheers.
If it's not,
I love you.
Cheers. Love you. Love you, Anesha Rose. So I'm very excited.
And I really love my...
Her old lady fan because she's turning 50.
Old lady! It's called Fat and Eloquent. It's fucking hot in here. Thank you.
So let's address the elephant. So it's hot.
It's hot.
We thought it would cool down.
Summertime. It feels like summertime.
It's 8:30, and we thought it would cool down.
We powdered, but we were shiny.
I have no AC, and this is what happens when you're starting out. And
this is what happens when you don't have centralized air conditioning. I'm the same.
Yeah.
But we're homeowners.
Cheers.
You can say the extra ho.
Cheers. So anyway, I'm happy to have this woman on, but this is what makes her her.
We've been friends for a long time. I'm your sister and your mother.
Yeah.
So it's family affair.
I know I've been probably following your career a little bit, at least for the past 10 years, you know, just throughout the gigs and Laguna.
Had your sister been there for me at all the places for probably longer. But yeah, I think the Dorish girls are my favorite. I mean, the blonde Taraja is pretty strong.
I mean, she's now brunette, but you know.
She's still a blonde.
She's still a blonde.
Hey, I paid for my blonde a little bit. Don't tell anyone. I mean, were you a towhead when you were born?
Yeah. Well, I had brunette hair, but then it turned blonde when I was like 2. Isn't that wild?
Okay. Well, we'll have to see what her DNA is. Then we just
Who am I? Daddy? No.
Yeah, right? Okay, go on.
Yeah. So I'm excited to have you here. And this show is, all about
free bird.
Breaking free, right?
Breaking free. I like that.
So I know everybody has a story, and I just admire you so much. And you inspire me because of your talent and your beauty and your humor, and you are authentically you, always on stage. And I think it's amazing because you're bold and you're you, and it's like
it took
a
long time to get here, but the way I've been told is like you wear your heart on your sleeve. Heart on your sleeve is probably what I'm thinking of. Are you Sagittarius? Because I'm seeing that on your calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
you're a Leo, so we're both fire.
Yeah, fire. So
yeah.
When's your birthday?
December 11th.
Oh yeah, you're right. Every one of my family's a Sag except for my sister. She's the Virgo, but she's the more smart one. And we all needed her.
Yeah, I know it. I know a Virgo. I know a Virgo
Cassandra
in my
Rose.
life.
She's my Broadway to my rock and roll when we think of us as opposites. It's good to have an opposite. Keep you in line.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes we think like, oh my God.
If we're going to astrology as our freaking...
Right.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, but it's...
I mean, I try, the old days, like, you're hitting on a guy at a bar. Maybe I never actually said this, but like, what's your sign? Right? Or what do you do for a living?
Maybe you should start saying it.
What do you do for a living? What car do you drive? I mean, those are the 3 dumbest questions you could ask.
I think the sign is
I kind of want to know. No offense.
Yeah.
But I don't think astrology means anything as far as like who you should date, because I've been shocked. That's when the universe kind of says to you, yeah, bitch, you really thought that. And then boom, you got slapped in the face. Like, you have to take a human being for what they are represented to you for the first 5 minutes, for the first year, and for the next 20 years. I mean, talk to a married couple that have been married for 50 years. The first 10, they were a different guy.
Right.
And the next 10, they were a different guy. And same with the woman. And the beauty of staying together is willing to change. So astrology means really nothing if you're quote unquote depending on that factor. I just think it's rad that I just saw the Sagittarius candle and I go, oh,
You're like, no wonder.
I was like, no
we
wonder.
Get along.
So like,
Yeah.
But that's kind of what's cool about Friends is like, you kind of figure out that maybe that's just the introduction sometimes.
Right.
It's not really meant to be a life, a permanent or why you should be with them kind of thing. Like, because you shouldn't judge anybody based on their birth date or the color of their skin or what they drive or what job they have, because you could manifest their whole life to be something so rad that they didn't even know. Just like music. Like, I had no idea I'd still be sitting here, And it took different relationships to get me here too.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. You know,
right.
I don't know how much we're going into it, but yeah.
Well, we can go in as deep as you want. But like,
the well is large.
The well is large. So I guess let's start kind of from the beginning of like, when did you really have that passion in your heart about music?
Oh, it's a tough question. So I've been on a couple podcasts before. I've been on a couple radio interviews, and I've obviously been asked this question.
She's kind of a big deal.
No. These are what's beautiful is I'm not a big deal, thank God. That would stress me out a little bit, I think. What I love is that everything is organic.
Yeah.
And it's kind of step by step.
Yeah.
So if you would have told me 40 years ago when I was 10, mimicking out Cyndi Lauper, while my parents were at the grocery store, and I blared the radio on, and I was like acting like a star in the living room. And then when the garage would open, I knew it was time to shut everything down because my parents didn't even know that I had that inherited thing inside of me because I was shy.
Wait, so who were you singing to then?
Cyndi Lauper. Well, I was singing to everybody, but at the time I had Cyndi Lauper's tape.
Yeah, but were you just singing by yourself?
No. I had so when I say mimicking it out, which means like air guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I might have been singing, but it was like, I was so into it, so much knew the music.
Yeah.
I think 83, we're talking 83, 84. And Madonna had come out big and like whenever everybody, it was like, what was that song? I think Borderline was her first hit. But I think Cyndi was right on the same, just like Prince and Michael. They were kind of the same summer.
Okay.
And I hadn't quite moved to Mission Viejo yet. We were still living in the Mojave Desert. And this house I'm referring to, our music equipment was in a living room that had a window out to the street. And I could see them come home with the car and then the garage opening. And I remember thinking, okay, it's time to turn the music off.
Wait, because that was your parents coming home?
Yeah, that's when you can leave an 8-year-old by herself.
Okay, so you were by yourself rocking out. I see.
The grocery store was like a mile away.
Yeah.
And I would rock out to that. Now, keep in mind, if we want to go from the beginning was, my mom and dad, I have a stepfather and a real father, okay? Real father sounds awkward. I mean, he's
biological
he's
father,
but he's pops.
Oh, okay.
We call him pops.
Okay.
I'm kiddo. He's pops. Then I have my dad. My dad met my mom when I was 4. They're both musicians.
Oh, okay.
Oh, everyone says it just like that, which is hilarious. Like, oh, that makes sense.
Well, it does.
But it. Okay, I mean, I'm just
thinking it's fun. I don't know.
I think it's hilarious because it is so actually funny the way that people say
everyone responds like that.
To that. But they're both equally talented. They were super different with what they did.
Interesting.
But I think it's more like my mother. It's like, oh, she loves guitar players, but that's a joke too. I don't know.
But if you love guitar players, doesn't necessarily mean you know how to play guitar.
I was born in Ventura. My parents. It's a long history. I'd rather not go into it per se because I might be watching. I don't like to bring up shit.
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
Let's not remind everybody. But really, what it was to me was a blessing and a blessing and a blessing. So I got the DNA, right?
Yeah.
And then I got the nurture. So the nurture and the nature.
Yeah.
I had this person that gave me and instilled DNA that there's no denying.
Right. There's no denying.
But then again, I don't know who gave me the voice because my dad sings. And my mom sings, but I wouldn't normally think I sound anything like them.
Right.
Not to disrespect either one of them. I don't know. I don't really view them as like... I mean, my sister can sing too, but we won't make them feel bad about themselves right now.
Right.
It's just different,
Well, I mean...
there's people that can sing. I mean, I think for me, there's people that can sing, and then there's people that really have a gift to doing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know if I had that gift at the time.
Right.
I think I had to earn that. I think I was born with something, but I had to really work at it.
Right.
And so for me, I just feel like, being raised by, my dad, which is Kim.
Yeah.
He's my stepdad. I just hate that word. It just seems so weird.
Yeah, because
he's
your dad. Yeah.
It all seems weird to me. But, I'll never forget there was a phone call that comes in. And he had just married my mom. And I was like, Dad or stepdad or Kim or whatever I'm supposed to call you. Phone's for you. I was just such a And that, I don't even remember saying it like that, but that's the kind of kid I was.
Right.
I was such a cool kid. Like, I had come up in a time in the early 80s where my parents were 20 years old when they had me.
Oh, they were young.
So I might have only gotten to go to, like, a restaurant that had a band or a bar that had a band for a very small amount of time.
Right.
And I wasn't an annoying kid that, like, I made sure I always loved adults. I've loved adults my whole life. I've loved people's parents my whole life. I mean, I just get along with adults. And I was an only child until I was 8 years old. So, fast forward, I had that upbringing. And then, again, going to the Cyndi Lauper thing, I just laughed because when you asked me, like, when did you think you had the thing? I was like, well, I don't know, when I could sing on the radio by myself and realize I hit those notes.
Wait, but did you know it?
I remember being 5. I don't even know if Kim knows this with my dad. I don't even know if he knows. Like, we were, Brad Mercer and him were in a band together. That was called the Brad Mercer Show.
Okay.
I might have told Brad this story at one time when I got to go see him out in Palm Springs recently. He's still got a show. I mean, when we say show, we're talking 10-piece band.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's
horns,
awesome.
Percussion. And I remember going into the studio at their house. They had like a little studio. He built a studio in his house.
Yeah.
And we were up in like Thousand Oaks, probably maybe Woodland Hills-ish. I don't know where Brad lived at the time, but I'm 5 and I'm like watching it. And I think he had his wife at the time in the band. And I'm like, oh, I could sing her parts. But would I ever say that? No. And could I have really done it? No. But what I thought was I could.
At 5.
Who am I? Yeah, that's what I think I thought. So it took me years. And I always thought when my dad said to me when I was later on in life, I played violin and cello as a kid and I was pretty good at it. I remember when my dad finally heard me sing the national anthem.
Wow.
That was probably the only time, to be honest, before I started playing guitar and doing gigs, he was like, you really did a great job at that. Because he, to me, was the one that, like, was kind of particular. He was like, you're a little this or that. Now, Pops, all day long, I nailed it, right? I mean, that's just how my Pops was. But the
national anthem, too, that's a
hard
big
song.
deal.
But once I got my parents to understand, because I think my mom and dad were a little scared of me even doing music. I do recall my mom saying things like, no. Because when you try to tell your parents you want to be a musician, please. Right? It's like... First of all, I don't even know what I was saying because there was no actual job. And, I mean, we could go on, but I don't want to bore the public. But I'm just saying, for me, it was like just a thing I said.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think it's also because at that time I was a little, probably, I don't know, like, again, let's fast forward. 16, my first time ever singing publicly on a stage was Takeoa in San Clemente. It's a karaoke sushi restaurant.
So that was the first time.
And once I had that moment, it was on. Once I had that moment, it was on. I was like, it's on.
Do you remember the song?
It was, Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I mean, you can't really mess that song up. It was great. So, did that. Also, I had a 16-year-old voice.
So was it more like high?
I don't even know what it was, but it was way less weed. It was like all the years of smoking weed and like, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I speak lower in register, but I probably had a higher voice when I was younger. I don't know.
But that was the first.
I mean,
like,
if you got
moment.
me more, if we did like a 3-hour podcast, I'd probably talk like this. Hi. I went to church yesterday, and I have such a high voice. It's like I've never known you as a high voice. Lady. Yeah.
You're so sweet. You're so
I don't know. Sweet. I don't even know how to sound.
Anesha Rose, you are just the sweetest thing.
God. She's so sweet. Yeah, I don't know how to say that correctly, but yeah. So I had a lot of weird introductions to the fact of me like solidifying that this is what I want to do. There was a lot of moments like that.
But the karaoke, like what?
Karaoke was the first one.
What inspired you to get on the stage and just do it?
Well, right before that, I mean, keep in mind this is 1991. I mean, like, I think Mexican restaurants and sushi restaurants or Japanese restaurants had that little karaoke machine in the corner. You're too young. Where's my old timers? They remember. And nobody used it. It was almost like a joke. Like, yeah, we pulled that out after 9.
Oh.
Karaoke came from Well, I don't know where it actually came from, but I know it was more of an Asian thing. I think it was
Interesting.
Filipinos had it.
So it was just standing in the corner.
Japanese had it. Like, it was a thing that came from that culture. I think they should get some credit, because I know it didn't come from Mexico. It was that culture, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe they wanted to learn American songs. And some of those songs back in the early days of those karaoke machines were awful songs. There wasn't a lot to choose from. You know? Right. So for me to be able to go do Eurythmics was huge. Yeah. Yeah, that was when it evolved.
So did you have fans starting then?
Well, no. Okay, fans is a strong word. No. It was more like hide from the janitor that's working at my high school. Make sure he doesn't notice me when he sees me like at the locker on high school. Because I didn't even have to have a fake ID to get into this portion of the bar. Right. And unfortunately, Takea was closed, but everyone in San Clemente will know that place. I mean, it's legendary.
Wow.
I remember, my best friend, Tracy O'Farrell, who really ultimately dragged me to move to Vail, Colorado after we went to high school. And then Alaska, which is, I always would say, where I lost my virginity, which I'm proud to say, because...
In Alaska?
It was where I evolved as a woman. It's where the flag flew free.
Wow, that's
what's your podcast again? The
Fly Free Bird.
Yeah, that's when the bird was flying. She flew. She was on.
She broke out of the cage.
So for me, it was like all those things. Like, there's so many poignant moments from childhood to teenager to my late teens and early 20s, up until like 22 when I finally moved home and I moved to Laguna. And then that was a whole nother, thing. So I think for me, it took me a long time to get to where I'm at. Like, I took guitar at Saddleback at 22. So I really hadn't even learned that instrument until then. And that's when I started to write songs. And I'll play one of them for you later. Yeah. But it was a slow burn. It was a real slow burn. And that's exactly how I wanted it to go. Because even when I was moving to Laguna... And I lived in a house with my two favorite best friends, Jason and Jason. I remember they let me join the band. One of Jason Farrell let me join the band, and I remember thinking, "Oh my God, we're so good, we're so good." And if we got a record deal, I'd still feel like I wasn't ready because I never felt like I earned it. And I think I've earned it now, but record deals are just not what they used to be. So and also I'm not like a gifted songwriter. I mean, I'll just own it. Like, I'm a great entertainer. Right. I like interpreting songs, and I like making people laugh. So I've kind of evolved into something that I never thought I could be. And that's okay with me. Right. Like I said earlier, I just kind of go with, God on that. I look at it like, the hips were made for breathing, the voice was made for singing, and I often ask that question of what my purpose was. And I've always just somehow slowly got the answer. And to be sitting here today and still be working and successful and living my dream is like, who couldn't ask for that, man? Come on. Yeah. That's free therapy. It's a free orgasm, and it's free therapy. And that makes me hot.
And it's hot here. Hence no socks. So
oh my God, no socks. So she was like, let's wear socks. I'm like, what are the socks for? She's like, because I don't know if you feel comfortable showing your feet. I'm like, well, I have a great pedicure.
Or people are weird about it, so I don't know.
But my godson made me these socks for Christmas. Dylan Emery. He's almost famous. He's such a rad kid. He's on TV. He does like Crayola spots and all these fun things. He's just an amazing kid. And my best friend, since I was 10, gave me the title to be his godmom. And so he made me these socks. I was like, well, the only socks I have are like if I was to work out socks. Yeah. But I thought these were cute, but luckily we don't have to wear them because you can't even see my
Well, you could see mine, so I don't know if that's weird for you guys, but whatever.
We love it. I love the studio. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you, babe. Thanks for being here.
So ask your questions because now I feel like I've talked too much.
Well, no, I want you to just be you. That's the whole thing.
I know.
But
you did have questions. Like, what were the other questions?
Well, no, I do have questions. I just want to get to know your story,
The story is wild. It's long.
Yeah. But it's really like, okay, so you found your voice maybe like at 16.
I found that I had confidence at 16. But would I share that with my family? No.
Right.
I think that for me to share it with them was maybe... when I came home and joined that band, 22.
When you were 22?
We were doing gigs at like the Coach House and some great gigs. And then I joined many other bands after that. So we played the Belly Up. We did San Diego. We did like, all sorts of places. Yeah. And I think from that point, my parents could see me.
Right.
I mean, the national anthem wasn't until 1998.
What was that gig?
The national anthem I sang at the Angel Game. And that was just
That's a big deal.
It was a very big deal.
How did they find you?
Well, that's funny because I did audition or I sent in a cassette tape, and I got told no, and I got a whole letter back saying, "You're too bluesy, and I was like, yeah, I'm not.
That's my vibe.
I'm not going to do it like the way it was written. I mean, I did it to a certain point like it was written, but not completely. Yeah. And so I was working at a restaurant. I had moved to Laguna. I was 22, 97. I started working for Regatta Cafe, which is now where the Bear Flag is in Newport on Violito.
Oh.
My friend Jeannie Ridgely got me that gig. And I always kind of laughed because it was an Italian restaurant with Mexican chefs owned by Afghanistan guys that were all engineers. So they had the money and the backing. But it was the best Italian food I've ever had in my life.
How funny is that?
I just thought it was amazing. Like, there was something about every single meal that they made that I died. And so working there was really fun because I loved everything. Yeah. And I don't mean to point out the races. I just think it's hilarious that nobody was Italian.
It's ironic.
Is it ironic? Nobody was Italian. And here I'm Sicilian, meaning my grandmother adopted my mother, right? Yes. I've only recently now corrected myself. All along we're Italian. Oh no, Sicily. Sicily is not, well, it is, but it's not.
It is, but it's not.
It's like a cousin. And so, that's a whole other topic. I'm not even ready for it because I'm like, I have to finally start saying and I'm not even Sicilian, because I'm not. DNA, no. Yeah. But like I said with the nurture nature. Yeah, nurture nature. Like, how much credit can we take? Like, when my mom was adopted, obviously, I was in that family of all Sicilian women. And so I have a lot of cousins that are Sicilian and all this. And we are in the family. There's no denying that. But I think it's cute that, anyway, I'm going off topic. But I guess my point is that restaurant was a singing waiter job, which is why my girlfriend got me this gig. Jeannie, I love Jeannie. She got me this gig.
I remember that back in the day, or it could have been a different one.
It was, and it was very short-lived. But Bear Flag's been there for a hot minute. I don't know if anything was in between. Yeah. But it was a great gig, and I'll never forget when they found out I was doing the national anthem, they weren't too stoked. I think I might have gotten next-nate after that. Which was fine. That? Because they were just, they just didn't, I don't know. I don't know. It was a Saturday night. It happened to be on a Saturday night.
I would think they would like that you were singing at the Angels game.
One of their best is leaving on a Saturday night. No. It was all cash. It was all, I don't want to talk crap about them per se. Because in a weird way, when one door closes, another door opens. But for me, I was like, I was not going to say no to the anthem. No. But I met these people at that restaurant. Wow. I had told this one customer how I even got on the topic. I don't know. And because I normally wouldn't talk about the fact that I got told no. You know what I mean? Yeah. But a part of me was like, I want to do the national anthem of the Angels. Because where else would you sing the anthem? I could tell you another story that happened 15 years later, but it's like, we'll let time go. Yeah. We'll let the timeline allow. But for me, it was more like I just didn't know any other way to sing it. And I wasn't really that comfortable with any other avenue than the Angel game. Yeah. So, so I got told no in a formal letter, which I thought was, I just think I should have kept that damn letter. And I was able to get it based on the fact that at the time, the Disney, Angel, and NBC were all under one company at the time. Yeah. In the late 90s. And there was an entertainment director. Right. And he must have lived somewhere nearby. And these people that had come into the restaurant all the time in Newport, knew that I wanted to sing the anthem, and I might have told them the story about how I got told no.
Right.
And then they bring his ass in, and boom, I sang that. So my restaurant, I would always sing like crazy. Ooh. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. You know, that song. Ooh. And then I would do Rhiannon, Stevie Nicks. And then I would do the Rose with like a harmony. We'd have like 5 of us do the Rose.
Oh my God.
And then we would all sing Happy Birthday and Tante Guriate. It was in Italian. And then there would be like the Broadway showgirl, and there would be the Frank Sinatra guy, and there'd be the Tom Jones guy. And it was like this 5 of us just rocked that restaurant. It was a very small restaurant.
That's amazing.
It was a killer spot. And then Dave, who was the main guy, he was the baritone, the beautiful baritone voice. Yeah. And everything on those days was on MP3. He could spit like 300 songs on MP3, and I had a wireless microphone. That was it was before, it was when karaoke had already kind of become a thing. Right. But now you're doing things without lyrics, right? So you have the free game with a wireless microphone in the late 90s. I mean, think of what you could do, right? So it was a beautiful moment for me. Wow. I actually feel like I got confidence from that job. And I learned how to entertain, and then I'm still doing what I was really good at, which was waitressing. I mean, I've been a really good waitress since the time I was 15. Right. You know, I mean, it's what every job requires for every career you want. Right. You got to have a backup job. So, that was my thing. And so when I got that moment, I do recall feeling like, oh my God, now the dream of doing that is done. Naturally. I do feel like in a weird way I had a really weird moment, because I had people come up to me during the game and like ask for my autograph and stuff. Wow. And I remember taking out my lip liner because I didn't have any pen, and I was like signing. I mean, this is ridiculous. But I just do feel like there was a sense of like, now what I do. I was really bummed. Wow. That I tell you this honestly. Yeah. Because I think that moment was the first thing I ever did that was huge. And I do feel like after it, I was like, now what do I do? Yeah. What do I do now? Right. And then, of course, I'm learning guitar, and I'm just like writing songs, and I'm maybe just in a band for the first time, and all these things are coming to my wheelhouse in my life. Yeah. And I was so, it was a beautiful moment, but it was kind of sad, but it was almost like, like I felt like it was a really weird moment. Right. And that's kind of what most of us must feel like. Yeah. When you clinch your dream, what the hell? And what's next? I mean, driving away from the stadium, I was feeling this. Like, not sad, but kind of sad. Like, and I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but I do feel like what's so funny is like, if you could have told that person, you have the next 20 years ahead of you of goodness. Right. That you'll be okay with that. But, maybe that's what happens when people peak in high school, or people don't know how to go to the next job because they just got their dreams done. I don't know. Is that something that should be focused on? I don't know. It's maybe too deep. But I just think for me, I got lucky, because literally within that was September 4th, 1998. And then the following year I was living in LA. Yeah. Things had changed, and I moved to LA, and that was a whole nother world of like a carnival ride. I'm sure. And I'm glad I came home from that peacefully and like, in one piece. That was a nightmare. LA wasn't my town. Yeah. It really wasn't. Were you an artist there? I was working. I got hired by a film. They were like a rally, like film studio. Like they would, how do you say this? Film kind of, I'm losing my track of mind. It's, we would play films at rally studios in hopes of getting them a deal. Okay. Kind of like a musician has an audition and gets a record deal. Wow, okay. So there's a word for it. Independent films is really what it was. Yeah. And we would have like a film showcase. And so they hired me to do the music side of it, but it hadn't quite taken off yet. Yeah. And I remember we were in the Taft building, and I was staring at like Capitol Records, every day. And the only thing I would tell you about LA is when you live in LA and you're working for some big company, you get invited to all these parties every night, you don't even want to tell anyone you're a musician, because everyone is just so into themselves, and I don't want to talk crap about LA, but this is how it felt to me.
No,
being an unknown.
You're not talking crap. You're just.
But it was just
true.
too selfish. It was like the last thing I told anyone was that I could sing. I really was like didn't even say anything because it was awkward. It felt awkward. It felt that it wasn't my place. And then
because I feel like in LA, a lot of people are like, well, what can they do for me kind of thing.
Well, that's what I felt if I said I was a musician. That they would assume I'm using them. Because I wasn't meeting Joe with the, like in Laguna. I wasn't meeting like the hungry artist that really wanted to build a dream together. I was meeting like the guy that worked for A&R at Capitol. And like, you don't want to like, the first thing, and first of all, I had nothing to show him. I mean, I hadn't quite like finished anything of nature. So it was just an awkward time, but it taught me a lot. It taught me that that wasn't my town. And so I only lasted like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
And then I bailed home because I had an opportunity to come home. And I ended up moving to Laguna. What ended up happening was I left Laguna. I left Laguna, moved to LA, and then I come home, but I kind of was able to get like a room, in Laguna, but it was more like I was basically thinking that I joined a band.
And
it was like timing.
They
were working on stuff and it just worked out.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that's all
about timing though.
That was timing for me. And so for me, LA just wasn't the right time.
And that's
I don't even really know if it's ever been the right time. LA is just a weird town for me. I'm like,
I mean, I think it's a little weird for everybody, but
some people thrive. So anyway, next question. Should we go on a song?
Do you want to go into a song? Are you ready? Are you diverting?
I'm not diverting. That book you haven't brought up though. What was one of the questions?
No, the book is just there for safety.
The book had some questions. You don't think they would have been fun? The questions?
Well, it's really just getting to know you and your like career and how you got to where you are and like the confidence you built.
Well, we're basically on year 27 right now.
Year 27. So how many years in Laguna now?
Oh God, 4, and then I
only 4.
Yeah, because then I moved. But I had like a place in Sacramento. Then I was in Laguna Niguel. Then I was, there was a couple like little in betweens. So I moved back in 2006.
Okay.
I was 25-ish. And I was 30 by though. Yeah, because I said 27 I left you off with. Yeah, so I had finally moved. So if we're going to go back to Laguna, I was 30.
Okay.
And that was a different time. That was just a different time.
Yeah.
That's when I got like, domesticated bitches. Sucking doing dishes. We like kind of got domesticated.
Oh, you got domesticated.
I did. Yeah, in my 30s. And it's a joke because I can't cook. I was just like, well, I'm really good at doing the dishes. And
did you let go of art then, or were you still
never?
singing?
No.
Okay, good.
What was beautiful about that relationship is I was kind of on a pause because, I might have fast forwarded a few years there. I don't know how deep we're taking this. I mean, there's no way. Is it 51 minutes? And we've only gotten into 10 seconds of this thing? Oh my God. Okay, so I think for me, I was in reggae, then I was in hip hop, then I was in ska.
You were in reggae, hip hop.
All these things. So it went from Laguna to Long Beach.
Wow.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe I was in it either, trust me.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wait, reggae and ska, and then...
I went from a band called The Neighborhood to Nobody Cares.
Okay. I kind of like that
I kind of felt like everyone did, but no one did.
Yeah.
Nobody Cares brought me a whole new life, though. Like Long Beach, Lakewood, Wilson High School, like... Yeah, only white girl in the band. It was pretty rad. Only white person in the band, but it was still pretty rad.
Nobody cares.
Maybe one other white guy, but he was later. But yeah, it was just a different time. It was like, to me, it was like we were opening up for Rosa Motley. We had to move from Long Beach Dub All Stars, which was a portion of Sublime.
Yeah.
On our album, doing the sax. I mean, everyone was so like Sublime,
Yeah.
up in Long Beach that... To even be remotely close to that world was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Because who didn't love Bradley?
Wow.
And then Gwen, I got compared to Gwen like every time.
Did you meet her?
Never. I never got to meet her. But she was already huge by then. So I had no I had no business knowing her. But the cool thing is that I've gotten compared to everyone.
Right.
I mean, that's a beauty, right?
Who do you think your biggest comparison is to?
Well, I get compared to Janis. I get compared to Adele.
Yeah.
I get compared to Gwen when I was in reggae, especially Gwen.
Right.
There's not many white girls
I don't know if I've heard you really sing.
No,
reggae.
and I don't even know if the guys. I mean, my bros know from those bands. Like, we did originals.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful time. But, we never hit the mark.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter, though. We still have it in our heads that we were the greatest,
Well, of course.
And I thought we invented some really cool stuff. But it taught me a lot about music. I think reggae, in a sense, and I don't want to sit here and say something that might offend people, but to me, after you've been in a reggae band, you're like, every song
sounds the same.
Is sounding a little the same. Now, that's why I love ska, though. Ska had that, and hip-hop. It had that, like, different beat and different, like, funk to it. But, yeah, I learned my melody. Mm-hmm. I think I got better as a singer from those times. So, now, can I play reggae on guitar? I mean, no. I mean, who can do an upstring? I'm like, no, I don't do bass and sing. Like, no, I'm not. Boy, bye.
Yeah.
Boy, bye. There's only so many things you can do. And so what I ended up doing was those bands had kind of broken up, and I was in my late 20s, and I was just getting better at guitar. I was just playing my guitar more. I was, I think I had just wanted to just sing. I didn't care so much where it was or how it was going to be. I knew that I wasn't that great of a songwriter. I felt that was challenging for me. Mm-hmm. Probably because I've never felt that I was like a good guitar player. I was always a really good rhythm. And for me, every songwriter that ever writes something has a really good hook, and a hook is everything, really. But like for me, I was just like, that's not my job. First of all, recording it too. So there was all these little factors that just I wasn't getting. Like, I have many friends that do all the things I do and can record. It just didn't come naturally to me, that kind of stuff. Yeah. What's weird is, though, like, if you want to get your cable, reprogrammed, I'm your girl. If you want me to, like, electricity something, I can do it. I don't know if I can break down the computer and rebuild it, but, like, I'm weirdly, like, creative or talented in some things in life. But, like, when it comes to music and, like, engineering something, no. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not good at everything. I've always been someone that wanted to be a part of the team. That's truly the answer. So,
but what if you had this amazing songwriter that wrote you like brilliant songs? Do you think you could sing them? Or
of course. And so what I've done is I've done studio sessions, probably 100 studio sessions of songs, and that was a great gift that came to me later in life too. So that was always fun. That gave me the confidence too to go into a studio. Right. Studio is like I was saying earlier about an artist, like a painter. Yeah. They take the canvas and they paint, and they're by themselves in a room. Do you think there's an audience? Right. Please. No. And if there was, it's the gallery, and they're barely even there. If they're shy, I don't know. Artists that paint are very different to me. We're so opposite. I need people in order to do my thing, and most artists that are painters or songwriters, they don't require any of that to get off. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm only as good as my audience. Like, I really feel like energy is how much more I'm gonna deliver. And so a studio was really hard for me because a studio was like, and you can't have the air on. It's like noise and all the stuff. But after 100 songs, you get better at it. Yeah. And I learned, and I also was never hired to create the piece. I was just hired to sing it, meaning I would get the words, and I would get the song sung to me by either the songwriter who, God bless their soul, couldn't sing, so I'd get like a basic version, and then I would have to listen to the music. And so this is how it's been my whole life, even before these studio sessions took place. That's kind of why when I was living in Laguna with my boys, Jason and Jason, we would just jam, we'd just rock out and jam. And if I heard music, like anything, I could do it. I could come up with something. Whether I knew what the story was going to be, and so I always knew that was my gift, but again, it's a team. I need a team.
Right.
And so I've always said I've never really been quite given the absolute team.
Yeah.
And I've had every other great opportunity in life to where I go, I'm not, there's nothing that I need in a sense to do what I want to do. But what's beautiful is that there's still so much that I haven't quite had.
Right.
That I never give up on my dream, because that could happen one day too.
So you never know. What is the dream?
Having a really dialed in team.
I love that.
When you have like a really dialed in team. I mean, think of the old days when people had great songwriters.
Right.
You just needed the voice. That normally doesn't happen anymore. And I don't even know if I really want that for me. I mean, I love artists that write their own stuff and deliver it. And I know I'm capable of that. It'd be nice to have like one other songwriter person that really plays guitar well.
Yeah.
That I can bounce that off of. Because I know if I had the time, it could happen. But, who's got the time when you're working 4 nights a week, 17 gigs a month?
Yeah.
Fire protection job of 25 years. We haven't even dealt into that.
Well, I know, and that's the thing too. It's like
I have no husband and no kids. Imagine if that was the case.
Right.
So
it's crazy. It's like you're a musician at heart, but you have the corporate job.
No corporate. It's
not corporate. Okay.
Thank God it's not corporate.
Thank God. Okay, but it's good, right?
But my boss is amazing and supports my music, and I have often said that he believes in me a lot, and I love that. But I get my job done. That's the whole point. But fire protection is a whole other random thing I never thought I could do. I didn't even know that was a job. And now I'm like, oh my God, that's an absolute career. I mean, people have to have a C10 and a C16 license and go out and install your extinguishers and certify your sprinklers and alarms. I mean, there's a real necessary, fire.
Sure.
NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, is like pretty legit.
Right.
Amen to our firefighters. So it's an interesting field that I've become a part of, and I love it, and I love that job.
But it's like you have two separate lives.
Kind of? But that's what keeps me balanced.
Yeah.
And people often go, I don't know how you do all this stuff. I'm like, well, I'm not married. Or do I have kids?
Right.
I mean, think of the working mom, what she's got about.
Yeah.
So, and the career woman with the husband and kids. So
oh, gosh.
I feel pretty, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I still get to live my dream. That's, to me, the most important thing in life, I often think about, like, what if something ever happened where I couldn't play music or sing?
Yeah.
And, comedy's been something that's been kind of biting me on the lip a little bit. It's like,
well, you are a natural comedian, I feel like.
A little bit, but, like, I have to, like, wonder, I grew up on Howard Stern, right? The Shock.
Yes. And you like to do that.
Tasmanian devil him. I don't know where I'm fitting this podcast into that, but we're working on it. I just go with my heart. I went to Catholic high school. I was a shy kid. I'm a good person. Yeah. I definitely don't want to piss off anybody.
No. The Catholic guilt you have, right?
Well, I also like to be, in the new dawn we're a part of, where everybody needs to be included. As a white girl, the last thing I want to do is like step my ground over anything, because I know how blessed I am.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I have a booty that, is a little not white girl-ish. So you can call me inclusive, but I think for me it's just like I always want to make sure that I care about other people's feelings a lot. And cheers to everything. And cheers to other people.
Yeah.
Other people are what make the world go round.
Absolutely. I mean, it takes us all, right?
It takes us all.
Yeah.
It takes us all. So I often have to like watch my words and just say, like, how am I going to do comedy, please? And when I say comedy, we're not thinking stand up. The joke is I don't like the bar stool that can hold a 150-pound person, which I ain't. And all it has is the water bottle that no one even opens.
Right.
And it's probably got notes that no one looks at. I don't understand that thing. And I was like, I just want like a martini bar and a bong and like, something funny.
Yeah.
Funny. And then a couch.
Yeah.
And then I thought, have a band, and just kind of do what we're doing, bantering. with a song in between. But I don't know how to fit all that in. I'm still working on it.
I mean, it's possible.
Anything's possible, thank God.
I 100% believe that.
We should do a song.
Okay, so let's do a song. Okay. One of my favorites is
Only for You.
Is Only for Me, but I think you kind of like it too.
Of course, I love it. I love Stevie.
But I love Stevie Nicks, and I love her renditions of Stevie Nicks. But my favorite is Gypsy, and Anesha.
Your favorite's Gypsy.
Kills it, and
the camera's this way.
Yeah, sing to the camera.
Oh boy, sing to that camera.
Be you. Do we need to move this a little so you don't spill your drink?
I don't need to actually. I'm good now, but I do need. Because of the heat.
I know, it's so hot.
We have to worry about the tunage. My daddy always says, make sure you like your audience, right? It's like, yeah, you make sure that guitar's tuned.
You tune the guitar, baby. Miss Anesha Rose here. We've got a Fly Free Bird podcast.
Buddy, didn't you want the real version of the?
I want you real.
Real.
It's all real and authentic here, you know.
What's that song?
We're letting go of perfection.
But to be real. To be real.
Ooh. I just want you to sing to me all night, you know.
You know, it's funny. I have a few friends that are like, "You could sing to me all night." I was like, "If I could sing all night." No one can sing all night, jeez.
I know, but you do a pretty good job.
All right, let me tighten my strap.
We got the famous Anesha Rose here.
Yes.
Playing in the Costa Mesa studio here.
So I'm back to the velvet underground, back to the thought that I was, to a room with some lace, people, flowers, back to Gypsy. I was the Gypsy that I love. Oh, that I was. And it all comes down to you. Oh, you know that it does when got them stripes, and it works, and it twice. Of the night, and you see your Gypsy. Oh, yeah. You see your Gypsy. Ooh. Freedom, a little fear. I have no fear. Have on love. And if I was a child was love. Enough for me to love. Enough to love. She That was fun. That was fun. And I wasn't really warmed up,
but you don't need to be warmed up.
Yeah, well.
Oh my God! See, that just gets me going. You know, we're already like warmed up right now.
We're having so much fun.
Oh, I love that.
It was fun. Smoke and mirrors. It's 85 degrees in here.
I know.
Well, I often say I have a fan. You know.
I know.
At all my gigs, I have a little.
Yeah, you have the fan, and I make her suffer through the heat. We got one of the hottest days today.
Pretty much a hot day. It's like welcome to summer.
To film, but here we are, and we're glowing. Cheers, girlfriend.
To us. Yeah. Cheers to us. And those few left.
That was so good. You sounded amazing.
I think the warm air does some.
That was really good. That was like a private performance for me.
Yeah.
I might be like kind of like girl crushing right now. I'm like,
you know how there's the word professional I don't like to use very much though, but a professional will be like me is like, oh my God, I'm just saying it just seems awkward. So it's usually like 3 slow songs and maybe
and then you get
a shot of tequila, which is not often. I'm just joking.
No, you're
some places there's no tequila, so we just like a drink, just like a little drink and a little this, and for the ones that don't drink, I get it, but. For me, even just a few slow songs get your voice kind of like warmed up. Alcohol's probably not the wisest. That's what a professional would say.
Yeah, but it kind of takes the edge off, and you're able to like probably be a little bit more free and not.
Some smoke weed. I mean, I used to be a big pothead. God, I loved my pot.
Yeah.
And every break, it was like that was more what I would do versus drinking. But weed over the years has become such a I hate to say it. Ever since we made it legal, it's just not as much. I'm not a big fan of it anymore.
Interesting.
I mean, would you buy everything in plastic, even at the grocery store?
Buy everything in plastic?
Yeah, that's what weed is now. In order to get it, if you want to go gangster and you want to get it at those places that like sell it to you without the plastic and the like.
Interesting.
And then they're giving you all the measurements, ingredients of what it's in there, and that's legal, and it's a lot of money. Otherwise, if you could smell it, but the smelly ones too are just so potent. It's just not. It's not the same.
Well, you've evolved. I've
evolved. Yeah. So to me, weed is like I haven't touched it in forever, and I kind of don't feel like I'm missing it. And I'm not an edibles person either, so it's like it is what it is. But it's funny because that used to be like. I was stoked on the fact that I was going to be an 80-year-old having a joint on a patio.
You might still be.
Chair,
rocking chair. You might go back to the joints when you're older, and that's fine.
I don't know. Everything is just too strong. So it is what it is. But everyone has their vices of getting there. I mean, like I have a lot of friends that really do hone in on warm-ups, and I'm sure if you're a real singer and you're watching this, you're like, girl, you need to do that. But for me, I find that for me what's really worked is 3 slow songs, and they're low register, and we just kind of start from there, and I've been able to pull out 3 hours a night 4 nights a week for 27 years and never had an issue yet. And I mean, I get it. Like, as I get older, it's not going to be that easy. So I'm up for criticism, and I'm up for
but you're
advice.
Genuinely you, though, and that's what
I don't do
adore.
it to be. I don't do music because I'm some professional. I do it because to me, it's like I need to be in that room by myself painting that canvas, and it's in different form. But it has to be that, and so it's art, and for me, art has to be created, right? Whether it's being funny or doing songs or having a moment with somebody at a restaurant or bar that's feeling low, having a built-up moment of confidence because how lucky am I to get all the things I ever want in life with no degree and no college, and, and so I have a lot of love for people that need something a little extra, and that's the beauty of getting to do what I do late night. Sometimes you meet those people that just need a little extra love, and I often, as I take the limoncello, I do always pray that as I've gotten older, obviously the kid thing was when I said what was I meant for, that's beyond, that's way past those days are done, that ship has sailed. But really what it's about now is you got to put me where I'm useful. I can't be so selfish. Right. I have to be put where I'm of use. I'm a servitude to what I'm doing. I have to make sure that I always remember that, like, you're still lucky to be doing it. And please put me where I'm useful. And a lot of times I find that I get that answer, in spades. And it's beautiful.
Well, and I think it's I think
without crying.
It's amazing.
Without water.
No, but the thing is, like, it's like you've learned, like, God used me as a vessel. Like, where will I be used? Like,
yeah, I think most musicians have that. Yeah, but I'm just on an unknown scale, and I don't have some, like, record deal or anything else. Like, I don't need to have all that to know that I'm still lucky.
No, you're still blessed, and you're still blessing so many people, and more people than you probably realize.
And it's beautiful. That's why every night to me is just like I like to have a gig be so importantly different every night. Yeah. I don't want it to be like the last guy that was playing here. That's not my goal. No. And I have no disrespect for what anyone else does, but for me, it's got to be different. And why do I feel it has to be different? Because I feel pretty damn lucky to have that gig. Yeah. Most of the people that get their gigs play guitar better, probably have better songs, probably do things differently. Maybe I feel that they do them better. And that's always why, I know this is I don't want to say it like I'm trying to feel like I'm not, but I just do feel like it's definitely like we got the recipe yesterday and here's our first day baking the cookies. They might not be that good, but they're really good because they're fucking, they're chocolate chip. You can't screw that up too much. But most people put years into something, and I feel like most of the time I'm brand new at it. I still feel like a brand new person getting the opportunity to do it. And another thing too is, like, I have 800 cover songs.
That's amazing.
It's like too many.
You literally
I sometimes don't even get to do 300 of them on a year.
Wow.
There might be songs that haven't been talked to in 11. Wow. They're an old boyfriend that, like, they're waiting for the fax. Yeah. Wow. Or the pager. Right. I don't know. Right. And so it's just funny to me because I'm like, yeah, there's some untouched stuff there, but you can't do it all. Mm-hmm. I always say, like, New York, it's so funny, like, New York, you can't go to every restaurant for every day. No. Maybe if you did breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you might be able to get 60% of all the business, but you'll never quite get it in 365 days. Right. Because every year a restaurant closes and a new one opens. So that clicks off that. Yeah. So I don't know. I just, there's so many songs to do. And for me, I often feel like I'm not doing them the way they were written. I really interpretate them to be my own way. And that's what's fun for me. Right. And if I could give away my secret, I often feel like with all these gigs that I've been lucky enough to have, and a lot of them I'm loyal. I've been there 7, 8 years. Whether I've been at a million of the Hennessy's for 20 years, and some of these other bars that are newer, and Marine Room, gosh, forever and ever. And, like, I think to myself, oh, we're not making the crowd happy. We're making the employees happy too. Because if they have that same 30 set song list, they're bored. They hate you. Yeah. After like 2 years, they hate you. Yeah. So you got to keep everything fresh. Right. You got to keep everyone entertained. And it's a lot to think about when you're doing covers. Yeah. I mean, it's really an interesting world that we live in to do other people's music, but I feel like an actor, and I love that. I love that job. I love that problem.
But I think what makes you so unique and talented is that you interpret it your own way. Yeah, definitely. So, like, of course, I love Stevie Nicks' Gypsy, the way she does it, but the way you do it, it's, like, magical, and it's your own version, and I think that's so amazing.
That version was different because I didn't have a flan blowing up my flan.
Yeah, but still, no, it's beautiful, and I'm sure if Stevie heard it, she would be happy. Like,
Stevie would love it because she knows that her music has gotten to a different tribe. I'm sure Stevie would. She seems like a sweetheart.
No, I think she'd adore you, and like, it'd be amazing.
The way I feel about someone like her is, like, she knows her music has gone worldwide. Yeah. But it's also cool for her to probably think that, like, people are still playing. Yeah. Whether it's on somebody puts a quarter in the jukebox and it's being played, or musicians playing it and interpreting it their own way. I mean, that's got to be a thrill that your music is still that. Because there's a lot, like I said, I have a lot of covers that don't even get
But she's been performing like for so many years, and she still is. And she's been authentic to herself, right? And I think that's what made her such a star, is because people gravitate toward her authenticity. Yeah. So for someone like you who's authentic to your own voice and you make it your own, I think she would be like super proud.
I mean, I've been trying, man. I saw her solo.
So hey, Stevie, I love you. You're my favorite. She's my favorite.
I could come to Scottsdale, girl.
If I had together. Yeah.
But she likes the heat. Jeez.
Well, we're in the heat right now. So no,
she's like 85 degrees. She's like, honey, that's winter.
That's nothing. No, but you have to realize, like, how beautiful your voice is, too, because I know you play covers, but, like, your voice is so unique and special on its own.
On any given night, it's pretty unique.
Yeah.
We didn't even give Janis, like, a thought. I mean, Janis, that's what I was going to maybe cut to another song. I was like, Janis is why I'm even here, in a sense of when I heard her sing. Of course, I grew up with, Bobby McGee on the radio when I was a kid. And I always remember, the only part I remember as a kid was like, la-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da-da. That's the kind of thing. But I was at Takeo.
Okay.
My friend Tracy and her roommate at the time, Christy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christy. And she was one like, you should sing Janis Joplin. I was like, huh? And because now I've been doing the Dreams or Made of These. I've been kind of like doing, and we got in a few other times.
Yeah.
And I must have done Bobby McGee. I think I finally I listened to it a bunch. I did it, and then I did it on karaoke. And so once and then the first time I ever started playing guitar, I was 22. I went to Saddleback. I took a class, Randy Rusk. He later actually mastered my album of all the songs that I wrote when I was in his class, which was hilarious.
Oh.
That was like 10 years ago, And, I just remember the first thing I ever really taught myself, which is funny because I'm not an ear player. So when you say ear player, it's like you can listen to the song on the radio or whatever it is, cassette, CD, and you kind of listen to the note on the guitar and you find it, and then you're doing it that way.
Yeah.
I never was that kind of a player. I needed to know the chords. I know an E chord. I know a G chord.
Wow.
I know an A.
Interesting.
So that was the first song where I was like dying to learn it. And this is before computers, really. And I busting flat. Like I just kind of learned it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'll show you.
Let's play it.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it's still in tune.
But this was one of the first, like...
Well, this was the first song I ever taught myself.
Wow.
The first cover I ever learned was Knock on Heaven's Door. It's like...
Oh.
I don't know. I need things. I have an iPad to tell me what my brain's been missing. But, no, it was like, I don't know. I taught myself on guitar. So once I knew that, it was gangster.
Yeah.
Because then I was able to go to all my friends' houses and play and
have
that one song. And the other one was like, 25 years in my life is staying, trying to get up that great big hill. It was like that kind of thing,
Ooh, let's
Those
get
two
into
songs
it.
played for me for a long time. Busted flat in Baton Rouge, went a 4 train rise. Feeling nearly as faded as my dreams. Bobby found the diesel down just before it rained, put us all the way to New Orleans. I pulled my pole and my dirty ribbon down. I was paying so my brother be saying blues. And she was up in time. I was holding Bobby's hand in mine. He sang every song that drive me. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Oh, nothing, honey. He left me. Eating good was easy to love. Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was damn good enough your son. Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. All kinds of weather, through everything we done, you know. Bobby, baby, kept me from the cold. One day of nearest and nearest, Lord knows, I let him slip away. Now he's looking for that home, and I hope he finds it. But I trade all my tomorrows for one single yesterday. Be holding Bobby's sweet thing next to mine. Freedom's just another word for nothing, nothing left to lose on nothing. Nothing, honey, let me. Feeling good, easy low, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good, it was damn good enough, damn good enough, damn good enough, good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. Oh, there's more. La 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 Bobby McGee. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 Bobby McGee, baby. I'm alone, 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 alone. No, 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 no. Hey, 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 Bobby McGee. Lord, call him my lover, said I call him my man. Call my love, he knows the best I can. Hey, hey, oh, Bobby McGee, baby. I'm alone, 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 alone. No, 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 no. Hey, 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 Bobby McGee. Woo! I know, right? Love it!
Queen!
It's hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
So take off all your clothes. Oh, it feels so good. Your fan.
I know, right?
Oh my god, I loved it.
My mom bought like 500 of these by accident on Amazon. She thought it was 50. She bought
That's hilarious.
10 packs of like whatever.
But it works.
Wigs. And they break often. They're very cheesy. But they fit your purse and suitcase nice. And then I think of the old days of like the old, fat hens on their patios. Like, I'm just an old fat hen with my fan.
It does feel like we're in the South, just sitting on a pole.
3 letters is all she needed in a man.
Oh.
H-E-M with an F-A-M with an M-E-M. She got a T-I-T and the P and the V. And that's how she pretends. Okay, one last song.
Should we
Let's
do
take
your
off our
original?
clothes. Hold on. Calm down.
Before we do the last one.
Yeah.
I know you're turning 50. It's kind of a big milestone.
That's why we're perimenopausal and like we're sweating.
Yeah, well, it's also very hot and there's no AC.
Very hot.
So I apologize and
Don't
I appreciate
apologize.
you.
I love any condition. I can do any condition.
Yeah, you hear that. Okay, so
I like to invent ice block underwear, but don't worry, we'll talk about that later.
All right. Might be
Kidding, but
something.
not. Okay, go on.
No, it might be something. All right, so through all your life and your artistic stuff and your music and everything, like you're turning 50, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like, what are you looking forward to this next like decade?
Yeah.
That's one question. And then the second question is like, what would you tell your, your 10-year-old orchestra cello nerdy
I tell my
self?
10-year, you can't ever go back and try to rewrite history.
Yeah, but what would you tell your...
Every path is the reason why you're here.
10-year-old
I would
self?
probably just say, work harder on being ballsy.
Oh, like take the risk, yeah.
And then, because I didn't do choir for that reason, the shyness.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I wanted to play a flute or a clarinet because they were lighter, because I walked home from elementary school and junior high. I went to Newhart. Back in the day, Newhart was a elementary and junior high. And I just wanted to carry something light. Because as hot as it is in here, as hot
really
as it was at 2:30 in the afternoon to 3 o'clock whenever we came home from school.
Yeah.
And I just, carry an instrument was like an extra thing. No other kid had to do, and I did.
Yeah.
You know, the joke is I couldn't blow. Couldn't blow those damn instruments. God, I wanted to play the flute so bad, I thought,
but you couldn't? You tried?
Couldn't blow a thing out of it.
Wow.
These lips were not made for that kind of thing. So I, for some reason, I picked up the violin like nobody's business.
Wow. Oh my God.
And then 3 months.
Do you know how to play it still?
No, that's the set. I mean, I think if you showed me the notes.
Yeah.
But it's the reading of those songs.
Yeah.
And then cello, I started playing like halfway, like in the middle of 8th grade. I've often wanted to ask this music teacher. He recently passed away, I think. I was really sad. I never got to ask him. I mean, he probably wouldn't remember, to be honest.
He might.
But there might... Well, he's no longer here, so, come to me in a dream, please, because it's not really a big deal question. But I do sometimes think that the answer's somewhere. I do feel connected sometimes with the ones that have left us.
Yeah.
It's almost a joke that they're totally connected to me.
Are they?
Yeah. Like, oh, great. Make sure you're doing okay. Yeah. It's not like they're gone. They're more connected. Yeah. They can see all the things.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
I believe in
And that's okay. I'm cool with that. And I'm not some median or anything crazy. I'm not that. I mean, that's amazing. I'm not that. It's just...
You feel that.
I feel connected. I do. I feel like, and that's what I struggle with when it comes to, your religion or whatnot. It's like, oh my God, like, I feel it. There's too many signs. How do we not, like, come on. You can be as atheist as you want, but come on.
No, man. I know. When you tap in.
You don't have to be a religion. It's really just connecting with something that's no longer here. That's really all it is.
Well, when you pay
There's nothing to do with any religion when I say that.
No, I hear you.
That's a whole other topic.
Whole nother topic.
Whole nother podcast.
For real.
It's a whole nother podcast for the willing.
Yeah, Anesha Rose.
We don't need to get into those deep, darn feelings. We just gotta speak our mind. Do what we want. Say what we need. 'Cause all we got is one little day at a time.
Ooh.
And I keep on singing while I'm talking, because this is my jam. No, I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah, but I think...
And I still got my fan. Oh, the blush is still on, the lipstick's gone, but my heart's still in it. Goddamn Katie, fly, free bird.
Fly.
I'm willing.
Ooh,
I love you.
I love you.
Let's do an original.
Okay, let's do an original.
Did I not? I didn't end that last sentence, I know.
To finish it we're going to finish with your original.
Okay.
But I want to know what you're looking forward to.
Oh, that's right. We didn't finish the 50 thing. Yeah.
You're 50.
But see, looking forward to something is funny. I mean, I just hope for, okay. So, what was you said something about the past, or...
Well, like, what would you tell your 10-year-old? You said be more ballsy.
Yeah, be more ballsy. But then again, not say too much, because I think you could have told me to be more ballsy, and I wouldn't have been.
Right.
I would have still been shy and insecure.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that I would have said everything's going to be all right, which is so, like, cliche.
Yeah.
But I think for the future of what I think the next 10 should be... I mean, damn, if it flies like the last 10, I don't even know if there's really anything to say. It's like, I hope to just keep working and getting better, and maybe lose 20 pounds. I mean, there's really no other, like, desire. I just think that, I need to embrace the fact that I'm still here on this planet, I'm still living, I'm still doing what I love.
Yeah.
And, I mean, let's turn the idea of being 50 into, like, a no big deal.
Yeah.
Let's turn it into from being 16 to 21.
Yeah.
Like, you were stoked to be 16, Because you got your driver's license, even though half of the universe doesn't even get theirs until they're 18. These kids these days.
Yeah.
I was like, my independence, my musical self became who I am because of having a cassette tape and a car by myself. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. And then being 21, you were able to be in a bar and you could go see live music. And that was a big thing for me. Because, of course, I mean, we all had a drink before 21. So it wasn't about drinking for me. It was really about, like, to me, it was about getting to a bar to see live music.
Yeah.
That was really the big thing.
Yeah.
Luckily, there was a couple occasions where we could go to coffee shops when we were young.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So I guess I would just tell myself, like, you know, what I hope for is that, you know, I always used to write, like, 3-year goals. I'd email myself 3-year goals, like, this is what I want better for me. And the last goal I wrote was like, I want to travel the world and have a roadie. Mm-hmm. Well, that requires a lot. You know, what I've learned is...
We take a Fly Free Bird on the road.
But I want my equipment set up for me. That was the other thing. But I don't know, that would require a lot.
Yeah.
You know, to be a Taylor Swift of sorts or anything like that, or Morgan, like when you think of those big time artists right now, that requires a lot. And I just, you know, that would require much more than just whatever that dream is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, if someone believed in me that much and wanted to finance it, great. But, you know, like, I like the idea of Nina Simone doing some random gigs, like in London or England, and she just had a piano and she just did some cool stuff. And it's like, that's exactly what I would dream of.
Right.
Just doing, like, a one-woman show, like a Vagina Monologue meets, you know, a concert. And just do, like, you know, like, a couple... cool like songs, and we just kind of
I love that,
have like a talk, and like kind of like what we're doing, like hey, play this song right now or play that, or I don't know if
I
that's,
like that.
I don't know, am I worthy of a show ticket? I don't know. I'm that would be something to work on, because as I get older, being a full-time musician is tough work. No one understands that unless you're doing it and I'm proud to say I'm doing it by myself, you know, and so, you know, I Ubered all my gigs. I'm safe. Yeah. But I also feel like I don't have to pay anyone to help me. Right. That's a big thing,
well,
too.
you figured it out. You're doing it.
I'm doing it right now. So it's nice. It's nice to have, like, the world on my shoulders only and not being responsible for anyone else. Right. When you go bigger, you have to worry about other people's livelihood. And so, you know, it would be an interesting world to do it on a bigger level, but... You know, like I said, I just put my hands together and just say, put me where I'm useful, and if it's meant, you know, that, and like I said, what's happened from when I had 1 gig a month, to 2, to 10, to 17, to too many, to bring it back, to COVID, when I was still working on streets, street corners, baby, who would have thought? I remember that. I was doing, like, 5 gigs a month in people's driveways or something, and getting an Uber after 9 o'clock was tough. Wow. And that was something where I finally got like an Uber friend before I met my boy Julio, that, you know, I mean, I knew him for many years, but like before I thought of using him, I was just meeting random Ubers where I'd be like, can you come pick me up in like 4 hours? Yeah. And give him cash. Yeah. So stuff like that. When you think of when all those days of when we were on dark, to still be working, and still survive, and you were, but you were like feeding light to others, you know? And I think for me, the COVID really reminded me that God, you know, we really need music. And it's funny because my gigs were very busy before COVID, and they're just as busy now. So it's not because of COVID I'm busier. It's really just a matter of like, I'm grateful for that weird time. Mm-hmm. It was an awful time for most of us. 99% of us could all complain about it. There was only 1% of me that just thinks, maybe it wasn't so bad. Right. And it wasn't so bad. Right. But that's 1%. Yeah. Well, it's a portion of it, you know. We don't want to go back to it. Let's not be hasty. We're not here wanting to go back to it. But I think the biggest thing is keep an open mind, keep an open heart. Well, it taught me that people need music. They do. Well, they need something. They need connection. We need community. Well, I think connection. And I actually was kind of excited to realize, because everyone talks about community, and I just think we've been ingrained to hear that our whole lives, and I never really understood what that really meant until you don't have it. Right. That's the only thing I could really think. That's true. That's different. That's what it means, yeah. We need we don't want to, sometimes we hate our neighbors, sometimes we don't like everybody, but we really need the community.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that living in Alaska, so it takes a village, literally. There's literally a village out there that raised my ex-boyfriend's entire family. He came from half natives and half, his mom was white.
Wow.
But the natives, they're straight up village. That takes a village.
Wow.
That's where the term comes from.
Wow.
I think.
Because it really does.
Because it really does.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just makes me so happy to know that as humans, we can all find ways to be so divided and to want to, put us on different pedestals of who's better than who. And I'm sorry, we all bleed, red, and we're all pink inside. And I've just known from my somewhat small experience in life and traveling not all of the world, which is my goal. I hope in my 60s. By the way, can I also say I got my passport ready to go. I have my real ID. I even have my Mexican passport to go across the border with my Mexican passport card.
There you go. You're ready.
Where I don't need the passport.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm ready to go, girl. I want to travel.
Yeah.
I want to do more of that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind doing it with my guitar. It's just
I think that'd be amazing.
It's a little challenging.
But it could...
So this song I wrote, not to cut you off.
No, let's go.
It's called Love Games. It's probably my only... You did me dirty.
Ooh.
You ghosted. Before ghosted was a term.
Yeah.
To limoncello.
I know, I finished.
From Italy.
Well, only the best for Anesha Rose.
I mean, and this is... boy, this heat is humbling, I tell you what.
It's like we're in the dirty South right now.
I don't even know if the boys in the South in the 20s had like a tuner like mine. When the strings get warm, it's like an oven in here, right?
It's pretty warm.
Yeah. Anyway, you can hear this on my website, AneshaRose.com. ANESHA.
And I'll add it to the show
ROSE.com. Andrew Courtney produced it and had all my friends from Laguna Beach record on it. Randy Rusk mastered it, the one who taught me guitar at Saddleback.
Oh.
I wrote about 6 of them that were decent.
Yeah.
And then I had some other studio tracks.
Are you on Spotify too, or?
I mean, yeah, but I'm on all of it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I say that because I just don't understand Spotify.
But it's there.
Like Spotify, you can't go backwards and forth. That bothers me a little bit.
I don't know. We'll have to
Don't
play
make
around
me feel
with
like
it.
I'm totally not a millennial. You're incredibly resistible and definitely hard to miss. I think you're good for me. I'm feeling blessed. I may change my number, forget to pay my bill. Keep your head together, or I lose my will. Oh, darling, why do we play the games? Oh, darling, why do we play the games? It's just a game. Everyone loves to play. Oh, darling, why do we play? it doesn't play the gates. Hold on.
Oh my God, that was so good. I've never heard you play that.
We got a couple different versions along the way, yes.
Oh my God.
I'm happy to be on here.
Yeah.
Let your free flag fly. It's more like fly free bird.
Fly free bird. Well, let's keep flying.
The thing about birds is once there was a breakup, and we often say, if the bird flies and she comes back to you, it was meant to be.
Right.
And when I first broke up with the first love of my life, I often felt that way, that if I came back to him, that it was love. And when he and I broke up, I ended up becoming a musician and doing my thing. And then I did try to go back. But what was so funny is that definitely wasn't meant to be. And then I ended up finding my next boyfriend a week later, which was crazy. And then he was the reason why I started doing covers, because we would just sit and listen to music and have all these he was so into British music and stuff like that. And so I had this moment of and I hate to say that it's a boyfriend that is all the reason why that's not true.
Yeah.
But, there was these moments that obviously girlfriends build you up, but the men in my life were ironically the ones that kind of
pushed you forward.
I don't know if it was pushing me forward, but I think it's just funny about the
fly free bird.
The bird, because once that happened, then I started doing this job. You know, and then recently I was reconnected with a first love of mine, and I thought it was so beautiful because, anyone in your life, whether it's your best friend, it's your girlfriend, whether it's your, the first love, the second, all those people, they're stepping stones, they're foundations, they're people in your life, your parents, whether she got married a few times, you have different fathers in your life, all those people are the reason why you are who you are. And so if you have a problem with them or you love them, whatever that was, there's a bird in that sense. And then, they fly free, and if they come back, then it's to me, it's they still need you. And I like how you say go fly free. Yeah. Because ultimately, when you fly free, what you realize is the world over there is the same as the world right in your heart.
100%.
There's no different.
100%.
Than Costa Mesa to Afghanistan. Yes, there is. Don't start going literal on me.
No, but for real.
But for real, human beings. Go meet that mother in her kitchen.
Yeah.
And talk to her.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
You are who you are wherever you go.
The best for our family, and we want the best for humankind. As a true heart. And so that's why I have faith in the human being. Yeah. To always let their bird fly free. Right. Because we will always find our way back to each other.
Right. I love it. You. Let's cheers to that. Love you. Keep flying, people.
May we look good on the podcast.
Mwah. Cheers. Anesha Rose. I'm so honored.
I love you.
I love you. Hi, guys. It's me, Katie. Thank you so much for listening. I am so excited to announce that I am launching Fly Free Bird one-on-one coaching, designed to help you break free, rediscover joy, and simplify your life so you can live more authentically. If you're feeling the pull, I'd love to connect. DM me on Instagram at flyfreebirdpodcast or email me at flyfreebirdpodcast@gmail.com for more information. Make it a beautiful day, keep shining your light, and let's fly.